We live in an era of infinite, frictionless access to music. For the average listener, finding a new song requires nothing more than endlessly swiping through a digital interface until something catches the ear. The prevailing logic in the industry is that because music is so easily streamed, audiences no longer find value in physical media. But that convenience has a steep cost. Music has never been easier to listen to, yet it has rarely been harder to make fans actively care about the person behind the microphone. This graph tracks K-pop physical album sales. The data shows steady historical volume, followed by a towering vertical spike in 2026. That single data point represents 49.5 million physical copies sold in exactly 6 months. A massive portion of that volume came from the return of BTS. Their album Arirang moved 4.16 million physical copies in its first 7 days. But the scale of this economy extends far past a single stadium act. During that exact same 6-month window, 13 other albums also crossed the 1 million sales mark. That volume is distributed across a highly active ecosystem, ranging from legacy icons like BLACKPINK to newer breakout groups like ENHYPEN. Moving nearly 50 million physical CDs in a streaming-dominated world requires an entirely different operational model. K-pop functions as a dual-engine machine. It relies equally on business infrastructure and emotional design. The standard Western playbook often looks like this. An artist finishes a track, they upload the file on a Friday, post a short video clip to social media, and then wait in silence to see if the algorithm decides to share it. The South Korean model rejects that passivity. Labels treat every release as a highly orchestrated, multi-week campaign event designed to build momentum long before the music actually drops. This flowchart details the core economic strategy: stacked income streams. A music video drives streaming, which deepens fandom, driving physical purchases. This monetization simultaneously expands outward, feeding directly into stadium tours, brand sponsorships, and global retail partnerships. This architecture ensures that a successful group operates as a permanent global brand, rather than a temporary internet trend. The sales data from 2017 through the pandemic reveals steady structural growth. The industry trained its audience to interact, organize, and purchase digitally, then stacked those habits on top of returning live events to create the 2026 record. The math succeeds because these campaigns capture audience attention and immediately convert it into a self-sustaining financial machine. But the infrastructure alone doesn't answer the core behavioral question: why do millions of people spend money on a physical CD when the audio is free to stream? The answer is emotional design. Generic physical media sits on shelves, but media built specifically as an identity marker becomes highly valuable. Streaming a track requires zero effort. Purchasing a physical object requires intention, waiting, and financial commitment. To make that commitment worthwhile, labels design complex, member-specific packaging, include collectible randomized photo cards, and weave lore into the booklets. These physical details create a tangible connection to the artist. The album serves as proof of membership in the community. That emotional ownership turns listeners into a mobilized workforce. Fans actively promote releases, organize translation networks, and coordinate purchasing blocks to drive chart performance. The model succeeds by rooting the transaction in a personal relationship, which then acts as a multiplier for every revenue stream. You combine those two engines, and the dominance makes perfect sense. The art is presented inside a complete architecture of retail strategy and community building. The broader music industry operates on the assumption that people stopped buying music. The data shows they simply stopped buying music that felt disposable. This visual scale illustrates the core reality of modern media. Millions of passive streams provide reach, but a much smaller, deeply mobilized group taking direct action creates true financial momentum. The lessons here extend to independent musicians, podcasters, YouTubers, and anyone trying to build a modern media business. Launching without preparation often leads to a quick drop-off. K-pop's success suggests building shared language and community connection long before the product arrives. Whether an audience consists of 100 people or 100,000, the logic remains the same. Sequence meaning into the work, treat the launch as an event, and give the audience a specific role to play in the outcome. The 49.5 million albums sold in the first half of 2026 serve as a signal. Convert passive attention into an active community, and the metrics take care of themselves. Fandom is the new music business.